Hey, it's because I'm having so much fun with this. I've decided to do another Elvis Cash video. So here we have the two performers or stars side by side, and my thesis is they are one and the same. Now I know you can't tell if an individual is identical to the other simply by their hairdo, but I'm going to have you take a look at how the hair is formed on both of them. It looks very identical to me. Okay? And in this particular photo, which would have been a little bit later in the history of the hoax character called Elvis, he's a little bigger and puffed up. And we're supposed to take the clue that it's because he's overeating and he's taking an excessive amount of drugs. And so the story that will go out is that Elvis basically died of abusing drugs, even though he'll be exonerated. But we're led to believe that because they kill off a character in order that the other one can survive. Plus, it also makes all the memorabilia and records and so forth that Elvis did more valuable. So I'm going to suggest Johnny Cash is the same as Elvis. And eventually they do puff the cheeks of Elvis to bring his face pretty close to the face of Johnny Cash. Then we'll go to another photo. Now once again you sort of have the combination of the as above so below, with Johnny Cash looking up. Why is he looking up if he's performing? And you have Elvis looking down. Notice how he's holding the microphone with a V or the devil's horns. Now these are just spliced photos. The two of them are not actually together. I did a video on this one whereby showing that they're kind of like co-joined together, like they were born this way. And it's like one leg there, one leg there. It's like there's only two legs, there should be four. It's all blended together. And by the way, the hairdo is very similar. And I also did a close-up to show you that the hairdo on Elvis, there's devil horns on that. Hey, this is a classic Elvis Johnny Cash photo, and basically I'm going to go back to the hairdo. It's basically pretty much the same, and you can actually sort of see some devil horns there in the hairdo, and how they're almost like they're co-joined together, like they were born this way and you can't separate them. Now most likely what they did, they puffed the cheeks of Johnny Cash, maybe put a nose piece on, and then they kind of brightened this face. You can see it's got a little more light and illumination, and this one's kind of dark and dreary. So it's light and dark. Then I also think they did a little something with the teeth on Johnny Cash to make him look different. Go to a next one. Okay, this is the classic one that I talked a little bit about previously in another video, whereby it's supposed to be the $1 Million Quartet. with Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, Elvis, and Johnny Cash. Now once again, it's sort of the as above, so below. Johnny Cash looking below and Elvis looking above, and how they're kind of like melded together or welded together. That's because Johnny Cash is Elvis, Elvis is Johnny Cash. Now again on this one, with the way he's leaning, how does his hand get in this position? And where is the other hand of Johnny Cash? And look how, again, it's like they were born this way, those inseparable twins. How do you get clothing to look like it's all one? Once again, the devil horns on Elvis. You can see him right there. They do a lot of these side-by-side photos, and that's just so that you realize that basically they're telling you they're one and the same. You know, I was watching an episode of Columbo and Johnny Cash was on the episode, and just out of the clear blue, a flash came to me and it said, "You're looking at Elvis." And I said, "No, it's Johnny Cash." And then I said, "No, it's Elvis." And I said, "Well, let me check it out." And I really didn't know much of the history of the two of them together. In fact, I knew absolutely nothing. And then I was surprised to discover that they both appeared on the scene at the same time. And Johnny Cash supposedly opened up for Elvis for a couple of months. And you have all kinds of other nonsense, like June Carter first appearing with Elvis, but then falls in love with Johnny Cash. And then, of course, later on saying there was an affair between June Carter and Elvis while she was married to Johnny Cash. And on it goes. What I'm trying to tell you is it's all BS. One performer does the job of two, maybe even three or four, because we found that out with Jimi Hendrix, who's Lionel Richie, who also is Morgan Freeman. So I'm going to end this video. By the way, I call this the split persona. It's one person, but split. But they're showing you conjoined together. And I also illustrated it in the Civil War to show you that the Northern general fights the Southern general, but he really fights himself. The title of my video there on War Backwards is Raw is I fought myself in a Civil Raw battle. Not Civil War, Civil Raw. R-A-W. Anyhow, I'd like to thank you for watching this video and the video.